Well, hello YouTubers, back in the garden. Today we're going to go through the tomatoes, and I'm going to show you how I grow mine, at least this year. You see this fencing right here? This is cattle fencing, different panels. I think they're about 16 foot long. And I've taken those and I put them on some T-stakes and attached them with wire. Here's some of the wire right here. There we go. You can see I've taken them all to the top. These are 8-foot T-stakes. And I'll show you how I wrap the vines on here. But first we're going to go through real quickly and look at the different tomatoes we have. Here's one called a Manitoba. It's a determinate. If you'll notice that most of them that I have in the garden are real tall plants. That's called an indeterminate. I really like indeterminate. I like to have them grow real big. Now this one here, this is called a big beef. And these tomatoes do get really large. I can't wait for them to get red so I can just munch them down. It's quite prolific. It's a very good tomato to get. This one right here, it's a little sparse. I don't know why. It's called a Brandywine. These are kind of medium-sized tomatoes. It's got a fairly good base to it, a lot of trunk, but it doesn't seem to be as perky as some of the other ones that I have. This one right here is a mortgage lifter. This is supposed to be quite an heirloom. It's got quite a history about it. Somebody from the Depression developed this tomato, and it got them through the Depression, and it made them some money. That's another medium-sized tomato. Look, it's real branchy. Real branchy. So I take some twine and I wrap it around the branch, and then I tie it back. See, I take it up here and I tie it up to the fence. And I just keep doing that to all the branches, and that helps hold them up, because the tomatoes get real heavy, full of water, you know. And this guy here, this is my 4th of July. I hadn't seen a 4th of July before, didn't know anything about it. It's a smaller tomato, kind of a cherry type tomato, but it's doing really well. Started off kind of slow. See, it's got a pretty good base to it. Nice branches. And my brother really likes them, so I'm gonna grow them again for him. This right here is a yellow pear. Now this says indeterminate. Indeterminate, of course, is the vines that just keep growing, big tomatoes. These yellow pears are delicious, and they are a low acid tomato for people that can't stand too much of the acid that's in tomatoes. This guy right here, this is an early girl. Just tomatoes all over the place. It's going to keep producing tomatoes for quite a while. There it is, early girl. And over here, as I go through this, run real quick through my cucumbers here, I'm going to get into my cherry tomatoes. Now this one right here is a Sweet 100, and boy, the way it grows is just wonderful. You can see there's just gobs and gobs of tomatoes on here, and they grow in this nice little pattern. See that? It's just beautiful. That's the kind of tomato you munch on when you go through the garden. This one here is a Brandywine. This is a fantastic tomato. They look kind of gnarly, not nice and smooth like early girls. They are a delicious tomato. I highly recommend growing a Brandywine. These are called Super Sweet 100. I don't know if it's just another variety of Sweet 100s, somebody's marketing name or whatever, but it's called a Super Sweet 100. I've got one of these guys going. Look at the nice trunk on that thing. This is a tree. Just branches all over, and you can see I've got it tied up. This is my Sun Sugar. There it is, Sun Sugar. And it's got orange tomatoes Again, low acid, very, very sweet. Wonderful tomato. I highly recommend people getting this. Now look at, here's why we use this fencing. See how tall these tomatoes are? Okay, I'm 6 foot tall and I'm on a raised bed about of a foot, and this thing just towers way over me. So that's why I recommend you at least consider these panels. It's something you can take down easily every year. Doesn't take long to unwrap it. You've got to get rid of the old tomato vines anyway. And you can grow peas and beans and anything that climbs. See, we got a bunch of beans here growing on them. Back to the tomatoes. Okay, this is a mortgage lifter. Now, I had a mortgage lifter over on the other side, but this one has a little different kind of tomato. This is more like the Brandywine. It's kind of a little gnarly, but they're nice. They're big tomatoes. I think they're going to be just wonderful. I can't wait to start eating them. They're just now turning red on me. This guy here is a big beef. Again, very, very big plant. Just got lots and lots of tomatoes. There's a nice big beauty right there. Another big beef. I bought a 4-pack of these guys. This one here, Early Girl, VF. Early Girls are kind of a medium size. They can get kind of a little bit large, but they're not a huge tomato, but they're a real staple. They last a long time. This right here is a Better Boy VFN, or VFW, Veterans of Four, no, VFN. This has a big trunk, very nice plant. You can see how green and lush it is. Some of my tomato plants don't look this good, so this would be a great variety for somebody that wants to be very successful at growing their tomatoes. This one right here is a big beef tomato. Sorry about that, folks. Big beef, nice looking tomato. Look at that. There are a whole bunch of them. They're growing, turning red at the bottom, growing really well. So pretty soon they'll be in the middle. Like Black Prince. So this is a black tomato. If you're not familiar with them, they have a little different color. This is about a medium size, but I know there's larger tomatoes. And this plant doesn't look like it's doing well, but it's producing a lot of tomatoes. So I don't know. This is the first time I've grown a black, and I'm kind of glad I did because I want to see what it's going to do. This is a Better Boy, VFN, medium-sized tomato, very similar to the Early Girl, but it does have some big tomatoes on it. So the Better Boy might be a better tomato than the Early Girl as far as size goes, but for ease of growing, I think they're both a toss-up. Here's what it looks like on the side running down my rows. I'm really happy with them. Now I've got another determinate over here. This is a Roma hybrid VF, and it's just loaded with tomatoes. Now I don't like the Romas as much as I do like the other variety of tomatoes, but this one here, I ate the first one that was red, and it had a wonderful flavor to it. It was actually kind of juicy on the inside. They're just now turning red, and they're going to be a real nice bush tomato. I've got 2 of them here, and I've got this cage around them. Each one has a cage, and I thought I gave them enough room, but I was wrong. They're going to go crazy. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a few of the tomatoes. We're going to cut them open and see what they look like. I'll be right back.